In November of 1975, one of the most powerful ships ever to sail the Great Lakes vanished without a distress call. No mayday, no survivors, just silence. The SS Edmund Fitzgerald, the pride of the American side, disappeared beneath the icy waters of Lake Superior, taking 29 men with her. But what if the storm wasn't the only killer that night? This is Danny, and I'd like to welcome you to my Hidden Book Nook, where we discover and discuss hidden gems that go beyond the bestseller list, a quiet place for overlooked books. Today we're talking about the Edmund Fitzgerald, Without a Trace, a historical fiction novel inspired by one of the most haunting maritime tragedies in American history, written by Tom McAuliffe. The author makes an important distinction. While the ship and the disaster are real, the crew and characters are fictionalized. This allows the story to explore dangerous decisions and moral failure without exploiting the real men who were lost. From the very first pages, Lake Superior is not just a setting. She is a presence. Ancient, unforgiving, alive. The novel opens during the gales of November, when Superior creates her own weather. Towering waves, screaming winds, and water so cold that bodies never rise. Even in calm moments, there's a sense that the lake is watching, waiting. The story follows life aboard the Fitzgerald during her final season. We meet young sailors chasing a dream, and veterans who know better. Men who understand that the lake gives warnings, and that ignoring them comes at a cost. We see the pressure to haul more cargo, delay maintenance, and sail when wiser men would stay in port. The ship becomes a symbol, not just of strength, but of how far people are willing to push steel and flesh for profit. What makes this book so powerful is how raw it feels. Life aboard the ship is cold, loud, exhausting, and isolated. Privacy doesn't exist. Sleep is scarce. Fear goes unspoken. But there are moments of warmth, especially in the mess hall. Hot meals, endless coffee, dark humor to keep the dread at bay. Out there, the lake can take everything. In here, the crew clings to routine, dignity, and each other. Below deck is where the book becomes suffocating. The engine room is described as blistering hot, deafening, and dangerous. Aging machinery is held together with improvisation and experience. Maintenance is delayed. Parts are worn past their limits. And still, the engines are pushed harder. The Fitzgerald isn't just fighting the storm above. She's fighting neglect from within. This novel is about far more than a shipwreck. It's about man versus nature and the illusion that technology makes us invisible. It's about corporate greed, where paperwork and silence bury the truth. And it's about pride. The pride of captains, the pride of companies, the pride that refuses to turn back. There's even a quiet Moby Dick parallel. Obsession driving men forward, long past the point of reason. After the sinking, the Fitzgerald becomes legend. Memorials are built. Bells ring 29 times. A song turns tragedy into myth. But the book reminds us, legends can be comfortable. They soften blame. They replace accountability with mystery. And every November, when the storms return, the questions remain. The Edmund Fitzgerald Without a Trace is not fast-paced disaster fiction. It's slow, heavy, atmospheric, and that's exactly why it works. This book doesn't shout. It lingers. It honors the men who sail dangerous waters and questions the systems that decide how expendable they are. I give this book 4.5 out of 5 stars. What really impressed me about the Edmund Fitzgerald Without a Trace wasn't just the subject matter, it was the restraint. The author doesn't rely on shock value. There's no exaggerated heroism, No over-dramatized disaster scenes meant to thrill the reader. Instead, the writing is measured, deliberate, and almost quietly respectful. And that choice makes the story hit harder. You can feel the cold, the weight of the steel, the exhaustion of the crew, but it's done through detail, not excess. Short, grounded descriptions pull you into the moment, while longer reflective passages slow the pace and let the tension settle in your chest. What stood out most to me was the balance between technical realism and emotional storytelling. The author clearly understands ship life, the routines, the machinery, the hierarchy, but never lets the technical details overwhelm the human story. Everything serves a purpose. There's also a subtle confidence in the writing. The author trusts the reader to sit with discomfort, to notice the warning signs, to feel the dread build gradually instead of being told outright that something terrible is coming. And that's where the quality really shows. This isn't a book trying to explain the tragedy away or provide neat answers. It's a book that asks you to look at decisions, systems, and pride, and draw your own conclusions. The writing style mirrors that philosophy. Calm on the surface, devastating underneath. By the end, you don't feel entertained. You feel changed. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this review, like the video, subscribe for more deep dives, and tell me in the comments, do you believe the Edmund Fitzgerald was lost to the storm, or to decisions made long before she ever left port? Because pride can't stop the gales of November.